Well, first of all, I'm really excited that there is a Commonwealth Women's Forum. It's quite an historic occasion to ensure that women's voices, and that includes civil society, NGOs, academics, the business sector, and of course governments. It's important that women, leading women of the Commonwealth, are represented in this way. So what I hope to come out of it will be a communique, some recommendations that go to the heads of government meeting, but also I'd like to see this entrenched. I'd like to see this not only as the first meeting, but an ongoing meeting series that incorporates the views of women from the Commonwealth, and that includes our difference and our diversity. Look, I think there are a lot of multilateral fora that haven't really embedded the idea of gender equality or women's empowerment in the meetings that they've had. Now, sometimes that's understandable only in the sense that a lot of the decision makers, the opinion leaders, indeed the heads of government, tend to be men. So you have to actively ensure that women's voices are reflected and represented. So yes, it hasn't happened to the degree that it should have in the past, and indeed some people are rejoicing and celebrating the fact that we have a women's forum. Other people are saying, well, hang on, 2015, it's about time. Indeed it is, and I'm hoping that this will now be a mechanism through which women from the Commonwealth, from all over, the member states and nations, they can feed through their ideas, but also have an impact on the issues that affect women and girls around the world. Well, I'm certainly proud of the role that Australia plays in ensuring that gender equality and women's empowerment is a central part of our foreign policy work and the work that we do in relation to international aid. I'm also excited by some of the projects and some of the work and progress that we've seen in Australia, but not for a moment do I consider us a country that can lecture other nations, particularly the member states of the Commonwealth. We work in partnership. There are things that we learn from other nations and other leaders, particularly women who've been at this forum, and there are things that we probably need a bit more progress on ourselves. And I have highlighted, certainly in my address to the conference, that things like violence against women, we know that's a global pandemic. We know that in Australia we've got some of the worst rates of violence we've ever seen in this year alone when it comes to intimate partner violence and murders. When it comes to a gender pay gap, I mean, Australia, more than 18.5% gender pay gap. So you bet we can afford to learn from other countries, and we cannot necessarily afford to lecture. But at the same time, we've got some really important initiatives that we can share with other countries around the world.